To the right side of the map starts our Protoss player in the red. He is starting for the Slayers team, and he is known as
Slayers Genius.
So far the WCS career, he defeated a Terran player but was defeated in the winner's bracket by a Protoss. Against Squirtle he didn't take a map. Now he's up against the Zerg player. Starting to the left side of the map in blue, we have
Ace Team JD.
looking like a boss here.
Yeah, representing Kespa's 8th team. And Genius, with his wall position, is going to be walling not at the ramp, but with his Nexus. I think, you know, some players really like this on this map because the wall is so hard to make work at the natural, or at the ramp, rather, I should say. Going to be putting on some probe harassment here, and looks to be going Nexus first. Has not sent a probe down to make that force just yet. And wow, pool goes down immediately, not going to be blocking the hatch.
Okay, I was actually a little bit confused because we had a lot of fangirls just shouting, and I'm like, what happened? Proxy gates? No. Any kind of cannon rush against the Zerg player? No. Fancy play? No. Just a sign. Just a sign.
So he actually is going to be able to continue to block this hatchery until the pool is down.
And here comes the Nexus. Oh, actually, not sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, a very late force though, going down at 17 or 18 there.
Yeah, at this point I actually expected him to throw down a Nexus. He had the minerals ready. Here comes the expansion for Jaedong. And Jaedong a little bit faster with his expansion than Genius. Genius starting with the Forge, as you just pointed out, but the Nexus follows suit.
Yeah, putting them down basically at the same time. Comes back into the main with the probe. Just wants to be in the know. Okay, how many lings are you making? Can I find that out? Where are your gases, if they're there at all? Cannon going down is going to allow him to put the gateway right in the hole there. He's going to start that very soon.
And Giga Shipyard is a map where Genius is known to start with a Stargate, but on the other hand, one thing that this map really revolves around is the third base for the Zerg player. You want to take their third base as fast as possible. A lot of Zergs will take it at roughly 4 minutes, 4:20, and this is exactly what we see by Jaedong right now. And this high plateau on the third, this is where it really comes down to. If the Protoss player starts with the gateway attack and is able to establish himself on the high ground, then it is so hard for a Zerg player to actually hold the third. It's kind of impossible because the force fields at the ramp are so strong, so you will sack your third base and just move back. Therefore, scouting is everything for Jaedong. He needs to know exactly what's going on here. Is there gateway pressure, or is there Stargate? What is Genius doing in this game?
That's what he needs to be very aware of. And he's got the Overlord to the natural position well. A little bit strange, though. He does not have one kind of towards the back. He hasn't even sent one in that direction. They're all going in the same direction, so he's not going to have multiple entry points with his Overlords to scout with.
And this is definitely, this could be a problem for him. Yeah. With the pylon emplacement that we have with Genius in his main base, he will be able to hide buildings, and what exactly will we see? The pylon at the low ground, now the Overlord moving to the bottom right, and he has still one at the natural, so it all works out well. He has 2 entry points in the end after all.
Yeah. And Jaedong is checking very carefully with his Overlord to the north, as well as the link to the bottom, to the south, for those probes, and this is what we predicted on this map, Stargate play.
Exactly, he's doing exactly what we would expect from a Genius, and this is the strategy that we've seen most of the times on this map, especially by him. Sometimes even trying to build it in a proxy position, but not this time. It's in his main base. The third is of course up for Jaedong right now. He's getting additional queens as at 2. He gets the third so that he can use the injects at the third base as well, and just droning up, but he needs to get those scouting information. They are oh so important.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time before he knows about the Stargate. He probably won't find out until the Void Ray kills the Overlord. And, you know, Jaedong is so far has just been going gasless, still getting a bunch of extra queens. Going to go up to 4 in total so far here. There are his first gases. Genius will start a Void Ray. There it is. He's Genius, man. He's got to go to the Void Ray.
Yeah. Void Ray.
Oh, wow. Almost sees it.
Yeah, not quite, is not able to spot it, as is pointed out. Once again, the vision of Jaedong did not include the Stargate, but at least he was able to sneak in the main base and saw exactly how many harvesters there were, saw about the gases, and now the Overlord moves in. But the sentries are already on their way. I actually don't think that he will have a glimpse on the Stargate at all. No.
He's not going to see it. The Void Ray will show it himself, though. 5 gates, though. this is more than I expected for him to add, and that's not known. He's only seen the 3, which is more normal, so it's going up to 6, not 4.
Jaedong has currently 4 queens, so he has a little bit of extra energy that he can use into creep tumors to spread the creep, and he really needs to make sure that if there's an attack coming that is backed up by gateways, that he has control of the high ground. He needs to spread the creep down there. Lings and of course also Speed is now on his way. He wants to make sure that he catches probes that build pylons. He wants to make sure that every single attack that Genius is using right now is delayed.
Yeah. By the way, Jaedong supply blocked here a little bit. Starts Spore Crawlers, of course, after seeing the Void Ray. Genius misses the Overlord to the top, though, because he doesn't expect there to be 3. It's so close in proximity to each other. But Genius's attack is still unscouted. He's going to hit with +1 with this, most likely. He's making another Void Ray. And, I mean, well, I guess we were pretty smart. We predicted this exactly. A big gateway attack with Void Rays and +1. And this is exactly what we're going to see. This is going to be tough to hold without Hydralisk, and he doesn't know what's coming.
And it's so strong. You can't hold it with Queens and Spore Crawlers. You need to make sure that the anti-air units target down the Void Rays. And he's moving in with those few Zerglings that he has, but losing a few of them. This is really dangerous for Jaedong. Of course, he's now ahead in supply, but this will change very soon. And the main question is, can he defend against this? He's building the Spore Crawlers, he's getting the speed. He does not have too much creep at the bottom, a little bit, and here come the pylons.
Yep, and the Void Ray charge has started as well. This is going to make this push a lot stronger.
And as mentioned before, the high ground, that's what it's all about. Will he be able to get into the high ground position? Here come the Zerglings trying to take down the one pylon, but it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, I'd like to see him charge up that second Void Ray. He's not using it right now. Second pylon looks like it's going to be targeted. But I don't know if this is worth it because, well, first of all, he doesn't get it, but even if he did, the second pylon is still there. Goes in with the Lings, and this is going to buy him a little bit of time. Traps them, or at least attempts to, forces them away. These pylons are so important. Comes up to the right side, great multitasking from Jaedong. If he can take out both pylons, that is going to be the end of this attack.
This would be so important, but one pylon is really safe here, and at the same time, of course, the probe has already been taken down. Genius doesn't send another one in. Here comes the force field once more for the Solaris player. Picks up a few of these roaches, not able to get into the high ground position, but here more roaches dying.
Yeah, Roach Speed is about to finish. 10 more roaches on the way, as well as an additional queen. The Spore is so important, so well placed right now. Oh no, the Overlord misrally. It means he's supply blocked.
And this is really, really bad. Now he's getting into the high ground position. Those Void Rays still do a lot of damage. The next round of Warp-Ins is hitting right away. The army supply 70 for Jaedong against 60 for Genius. He's trying to move in with every single roach that he has from 2 angles, but the Void Rays, they are still going strong.
Yeah, he targets the queens with more energy so that they could not transfuse each other. Now the last of these Overlords is going to be taken out. Supply blocking Jaedong again.
Wow, way too many. This is a tough situation for Jaedong to be in. He did not control the waypoints for the Overlords.
Yeah, and now he can't even go and cut off the pylon. The drones have been pulled. One warrior does fall. The second one looks like it might. Nice pullback here. So many drones going down. Genius with more Warp-Ins is going to actually cut off the drones from the back as well. And I think Jaedong may just fall here in game number 1. Even with Roach Speed, even with these queens here, the damage output is just too much.
This is exactly the sweet spot for a Protoss player that we talked about earlier. He's on the high ground and he's making this work. He warps in additional units. The Stalkers joining the battle. Only Zerglings that Jaedong can rely upon now. And here comes the army for the Slayer's player. He takes down the Spore Crawler before it kills the one Void Ray that is still alive. A great position for Genius to be in. He already killed a lot of drones, 40 to 44, the Harvester count. And it looks like Jaedong finds himself at a disadvantage in this best of 3.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be able to take game number 1. His hatchery falls before the queen finishes. His production was being camped, so every unit he made at that third hatchery was killed as it spawned. Even with the macro hatchery at the natural, wasn't quite able to get enough units out. You know, had he killed the pylon, this might have been a different story. He's even going to try to figure out if he can attack it again, but Genius smartly set up Zealots and hold position around it.
Genius lost 4,500 resources and Jaedong lost 10,000 already. Things are certainly looking grim and Genius is not done just yet. He is moving into the natural.
GG.
Game number 1 goes to the Slayer's player. Very, very straightforward game.
Yeah. This is, I mean, this is Genius' style showing.